Hey everyone, it's Mia Lammers of Invoked 101, and today I would like to do an updated Ruin-Demise End of the World deck. The reason I am doing this is because I've gotten a lot of comments recently on my Demise deck profile about people playing Ruin-Demise, and my Ruin-Demise deck profile at this point is around 2 months old, so I figured I would update it for the people playing Ruin-Demise so that they have something to base their deck off of. So this is just a little bit of help for them and possibly building their own Ruin-Demise deck versus looking at just my pure Demise deck and going, what Ruin monsters do I add? We do not actually play this card. We have a new light and it's so pretty. Let me zoom in a little. Okay. It's gorgeous, and this was pulled out of only one pack. There's 1 in 12 cases, and we had one pack and we pulled it, and it is the most gorgeous card I'd ever seen in my life. It's a 20th anniversary Ruin Supreme Queen of Oblivion, and is the most beautiful thing I had ever seen, and so I wanted to show it off a little, but we do not actually run this card in the deck, so let me remove it. So let's just get right into it. So we run 2 Ruin Supreme Queen of Oblivion. Let me zoom in a little so you can actually see her. There we go. When she is ritual summoned, all ritual monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects. If you ritual summon her using only ritual monsters as tribute for her summon, she can make a second attack each battle phase. If she destroys a monster by battle, you burn your opponent for damage equal to the attack of the monster destroyed. So she's a really powerful, really strong card. 2,900 attack points, so she's a big monster that not many people can get over. I suggest not running her at anything less than 2. We run 1 original Ruin Queen of Oblivion, level 8. When this card is ritual summoned, it can make a second attack on monsters during each battle phase. Does not do burn damage, but second attack is still pretty great. However, she is only 23, so things can still possibly get over her, but most likely they're reaching into their extra deck to get over her. We do not actually run the level 4 anymore. In my last deck profile of Ruin-Demise, we ran the level 4 Angel of Oblivion, and the reason we don't run her is because although she doesn't need to be tribute summoned using, ritual summoned using only ritual monsters as tribute to make a second attack, she can only make a second attack the turn she was summoned, so she can no longer continue to make those second attacks. And her effect engrave to target one monster, one ritual monster that you control. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects when your ritual monster declares an attack. Not a lot of things to activate during attack declaration, so her graveyard effect isn't going to really help your ritual monsters that are on field. So this is just simply why we're not playing her, because she's small, weak, can only do her second attack during the turn she was special summoned, which isn't too great, especially being only 17. And her graveyard effect is only during attack declaration, so it's not going to be used all that often, it's not going to be utilized. So this is just simply why we don't play her. Whereas the level 8 can always make a second attack. So moving on past Ruin monsters onto Demise monsters, we are running 3 Demise Supreme King of Armageddon, big 3000 beater. When he is ritual summoned, all ritual monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle. If you ritual summon him only using ritual monsters as tribute for his ritual summon, you do not have to pay life points for his effect. His effect is that once per turn, you can pay 2,000 life points, destroy all other cards on field except for himself, and burn your opponent for 200 life points for each card they controlled that was destroyed. So his effect goes hand in hand with Ruin Supreme Queen of Oblivion, in that all ritual monsters can't be destroyed by card effects, and if his card effect activates, then Ruin will still be left on field. So they are very, very powerful combo to get out together. Next, we are running Ruin-Demise, Agent of Armageddon. When this card is ritual summoned, you must destroy a card on field, so I do not suggest ritual summoning him going first turn, because most likely you'll end up popping himself, and then what was the point of ritual summoning him? I suggest using him turn 2 so that you can pop your opponent's card that they just got out. His graveyard effect is that you can target one ritual monster you control while it is face up on the field. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to a ritual monster's effect. So whenever you go to blow up their field, they cannot activate cards or effects to negate that. So it can just boost your plays and continue to destroy all their cards on field and hit them for 3k or more directly, depending on how many ritual monsters you have on field at that point. That is it for our ritual monsters. On to support. We are running 3 Incantation Talismandra, 3 Incantation Candle, 1 Pencil Plume, and 1 Bookstone. Now, originally, in my Demise deck profile, I said run 2 of Pencil Plume and Bookstone, but I realized that since a lot of the times your ritual monsters are not actually hitting the grave, you don't really need Pencil Plume all that much. You can put Bookstone to 2 or 3 if you really want to, but the thing is that the ritual spell cards already recycle themselves into the deck by Cycle of the World's effect, which we'll talk about later. So there really isn't a reason to run them at more than 1, but of course that's completely optional and up to your preference. We are also running 3 Manju of the 10,000 Hands just to replenish your hand, give you that extra piece that you're missing to complete your ritual summon. And 2 Blackluster Soldier Envoy of the Beginning, just because this is a light dark deck, so it's really easy to make, especially after ritual summoning using the incantations as tributes, because they are light and dark monsters, so you can immediately banish them and summon Blackluster Soldier. And him being able to make a second attack and being a 3k beater is once again just amazing and works perfectly with this deck for beating over your opponent. We do run a small hand trap engine. This varies versus your preference, so if you prefer more of one hand trap than the other, of course you can change that. This is just the hand traps that I own, so this is what I'm playing. We have 2 Effect Failers, 1 Ghost Ogre, and 1 Ash Blossom. Once again, only own the 1 Ash Blossom. Personally, I think Effect Veiler and Ash Blossom help the best in advancing this deck's plays by negating what your opponent can do, and then blowing up their field after they pass turn, so they didn't get out a big board that can negate your stuff. So personally, I would think, you know, run multiple copies of these if you can. So that is it for monsters. On to spells. We run 3 Breaking of the World. Once per turn, you can target 1 ritual monster you control and reveal 1 ritual monster in your hand. The revealed ritual monster in your hand's level becomes equal to the ritual monster on the field. So this is the card that helps you tribute your level 4 Agent of Armageddon for either your level 10 Supreme Queen of Oblivion or Supreme King of Armageddon, so that they're summoned using only ritual monsters as tributes. So this card is definite 3 of. And once per turn, when you ritual summon a monster, you can either draw a card or destroy a card on field non-targeting. So this card continues with the whole popping your opponent's field and hitting them directly. It's very powerful. Run it at 3. We are also running 2 Terraformings just to search it, because like I said, very powerful card, one that you want to see. We are also running 3 Cycle of the World. This is the ritual spell card that, if it's sent to the graveyard during your main phase, except for the turn it was sent there, it can shuffle itself back into your deck and add to your hand a copy of End of the World. End of the World is the ritual spell card that allows you to ritual summon using materials in your hand. However, it has to be exact, which is very, very hard for you to do, especially since Breaking of the World says that you have to target a ritual monster on field, not one in hand. So you can't target a level 4 in your hand and make a level 10 a level 4. It just doesn't work that way, sadly. So I only run 2 because, first of all, it's not that great, and second, because I don't want to see it in my hand. I want to be able to search it off of Cycle's effect so I can get Cycle back into my deck. Of course, you can run it at 3 if you prefer. We are also running 2 Ritual Cage. Ritual Cage advances your plays a lot if you can't get out Ruin Supreme Queen of Oblivion, because Ritual Cage says you do not take battle damage from attacks involving a ritual monster you control, and ritual monsters you control cannot be targeted by or destroyed by monster effects. So the battle damage thing goes right hand in hand with Demise Supreme King of Armageddon, in that your ritual monsters can't be destroyed by battle, and now they don't take damage from attacks involving them. So it basically neutralizes your opponent's plays. They can't hit you for anything because they can't get over it, they can't destroy it, it doesn't affect your life points at all. What's the point in attacking, right? And then they can't be targeted or destroyed by monster effects. Yes, it's only monster effects, so you know, spells and traps can still affect you. But in a format where you're using mostly monsters such as hand traps to negate your opponent's plays, it really does help a lot. I do want to get a 3rd copy of this, so if you have 3, I suggest running it at 3. And coming to the end, we run 2 Called by the Grave and 1 Monster Reborn, just in case they are able to get over one of your ritual monsters and you can just summon it back and continue to beat over them. Now, a card a lot of you may be asking why we don't play in this deck is pre-prep. The reason I personally don't... Oh, it looks so pretty underneath that light. I love pre-prep. But anyways, the reason I don't actually run pre-prep in this deck, even though we are running a level 8, is because we're only running 1 level 8. And the ultimate goal is to get out your 2 level 10s so that they would work together in neutralizing your opponent's plays so that they can't get over you and they can't destroy your monsters. So the ultimate goal is to get your 2 level 10s out. You're not really wanting to get out the level 8, even though it can make a second attack. There really is no point. And once again, running only 2 End of the Worlds, you want to be able to search your End of the World so you can get Cycle back into your deck. You don't want to add End of the World to your hand. However, it is personally up to you if you want to play this card, and if you do, I do suggest bumping up End of the World to 3 so that whenever you search it, you still have 2 copies left in your deck that you can recycle your cycle with. That's just my opinion. Of course, if you want to run it, run it. So that is officially it for our Ruin-Demise End of the World deck. If you have anything that you suggest changing, please leave it in the comments below. I would like to keep this pure Ruin-Demise. I don't want it to turn into one of those Ruin-Demise OTKs where it ends up just being a small Ruin and Demise engine and that's it. I do prefer playing pure Ruin-Demise, but if you have any cards or anything that may boost the plays, then please leave it in the comments down below. If you liked this deck profile, please give it a like. Consider subscribing. Also, please go check out the link in the description down below to our Patreon. Even if you don't think that you are able to support us, at least go check it out because there are so many ways to interact with us and so many opportunities for you to get cool things like mats. We do have our very own Invoked 101 mat, which we can, if you pay for that tier, we will be shipping out to you. So there's a whole lot of cool things on there, so at least go check it out. Anyways, thank you for watching. Bye!